G'day folks, Corey Hind here. I hope you're well. I want to talk to you reasonably quickly today about some content marketing ideas that will help you leapfrog your competition on Google, because we generally accept that ranking higher on Google than our competition is a good idea. We know that 92%-ish of all the traffic on Google goes to page one. So we want to get to page one, and that's not easy in some industries. So we're always looking at ideas on how to do that better and things that you can do as a business owner yourself that will help you get there. Now, first things first, this is YouTube, so please subscribe to my channel. That will be wonderful. And please watch to the end as well, because there's a whole bunch of tactics, and you only need one or two of these to work for your business to help push you up Google. It's a very useful thing to do. Now, we've got a note here saying ranking higher on Google is good. Hopefully you get that by now. Okay, hopefully you know that Google My Business or organic Google search is what gets you onto page one, and we want to be there. We know that lots of people use Google to find solutions to problems. Okay, I've been on the phone this morning to a new client who's an electrician. A lot of people grab their phone and they look for electrician near me, and they'll find Google My Business or Google organic search, and they'll just make a phone call straight away. So doing this sort of stuff is absolutely worthwhile for every business on planet Earth, I think. Now, I've got three ideas in this video which are evergreen. So what that means is build them once and they should drive traffic to your website forever if you build them well. If they're good and you start to see them working, you can always go back and improve them over time so they get better and better and better. Okay, it's a really common tactic in the SEO space to build evergreen assets on your blog or website that people come and find, and that helps us rank on Google. Now, what are these three things we're going to talk about today? We're going to talk about linkable assets, number one, ultimate guides as number two, and blog posts on specific questions as the third tactic. And I use all of these tactics myself and for my clients because they work. Lots of SEO people use them because they work. So let's get into the work. Now, what is a linkable asset? Just going to move my gigantic head over there, rolling down. So a linkable asset is something like an infographic, okay, or an online calculator, studies, research, or basic checklists. So these are things you build on your website that people are likely to link back to because they're of interest in your field of expertise. So let's say you're a personal trainer or a gym, you might create an infographic about how to lose weight, and people might see that and go, that's really cool, let's use that. I'll show you one down here that gets used in New Zealand very often every month. So every month, the New Zealand property, not sure who it is, puts out this infographic, and a ton of people link back to it, driving lots of traffic backlinks to their website. Okay, so people grab this infographic, they link straight to it. It's got an embeddable link in there somewhere, I believe, and people see that brand, but the link is there, and they link back to that website and get free traffic. That's a classic infographic linkable asset. These guys know that that works for their site, so they create that every single month, and lots of people in the property space link back to that. Okay, provides them lots of inbound leads, lots of inbound traffic. Online calculators. So depends on what business you're in. This may or may not work for you, but I've got a for example down below, and it's in the property space again. This is from the sorted.org website here in New Zealand. And what this page is a whole bunch of property resources, in particular, mortgage calculator. So I Googled mortgage calculator NZ. These guys come up first. So people go to their website and use that calculator to calculate how much mortgage can they sign up for. So it's a really useful tool and gets a bunch of traffic to the sorted.org website. And I think their business model is more about selling ad space on that website, but it drives traffic to their website. And a lot of those online calculators have been there for several years now and probably haven't been updated or updated minimally to keep them there. And people keep going back to that. The next one could be studies or research. You might have a particular field of expertise and you might publish something on your website or blog, and people find that and go, hey, this is great, this is cutting edge, this is new. It does two things really. One, it establishes more credibility and authority for you, but then also gets people linking back to your website. So think about all of these ideas. Just think about, how can I apply this to my business? Okay, and if you need help with that, just pop a comment below, and I'll see if I can generate some ideas for you. And the third part of linkable assets would be basic checklists. So, for example, how to change if I ran a bike shop locally, how to change a flat tire. Okay, how to maintain my chain, how to do this, how to do that. Just basic checklists that are short and punchy. Pop them on your blog, because you'll be surprised how many people search for that sort of stuff and will find your stuff. You can also use that for your social media and or email newsletter. So get into that sort of stuff. So that's what linkable assets are. They're things that you create on your website that people want to link back to, and your ideal customers will find interest in. Alrighty, going to rock on down past those images to the next topic, which is ultimate guides. Now, an ultimate guide is kind of a linkable asset, but it's more of a page on your site or your blog that has a bunch of information that people often search for. So, for example, we're going to Queenstown in 2 weeks' time. Things to do in Queenstown. Okay, you could create that guide and find the best one in existence online already and beat that. Put in more images, more videos, more links, more words, more things. Build the best one of all time. Okay, I used to have a hotel client in Taupo. Things to do in Taupo was a document she started to create, which had a calendar of events. It had places to go, things to see, all that sort of stuff. And eventually, if you do that well, Google will find that. And people who are looking for things to do in Taupo would find her resource and then book in at her hotel. The next one would be how to blah, blah, blah. So again, this will be a more extensive, if you're a bike shop, how to maintain your bike or how to service your car. Sometimes people think this is counterintuitive. Why would I give away that information if I want to sell that service myself? Trust me, it works. That's why. People will find you, they'll see that you're an authority figure in that area, and they'll realize that it's way harder to try and do it themselves than to just engage you. So give the information away, make it extensive so that Google finds it as well. We created a blog post called How to Get on the Google 3-Pack a couple of years ago, well, a year and a half ago. It still ranks on page 1 of Google, spot 1 or 2 on planet Earth, because we just went hard at it for a week and created the best guide on planet Earth. And it really is the ultimate guide to ranking on Google My Business. So it ranks really well. Okay, and that's why it's there. It gets traffic to our website, and these are people who are likely customers of ours as well. And the last one would be the complete guide to whatever. So just think of how often you're thinking about something, and you'll find the beginner's guide to, a complete guide to, an extensive guide to. They're things that you can create on your website. Some of the ultimate guide ideas, I will concede, would take a bit of time. Okay, but you just start at the start with a Google document, flesh out the topics, and start to add content over time. Don't rush, because if you get it right, it'll be like the gift that keeps on giving on your website. It'll be there for quite some time, and it'll be sending traffic to your website for a very long time. You can publish it when it's 60% done, and then build it out over time, and Google will start to crawl that and find that for you. Okay, going to rock on down to blog posts. This is the third topic. Now, blogging should always be part of your inbound marketing or content marketing strategy. You should be talking about things, writing about things, explaining things, teaching things, showing your expertise, writing about things. But I want to show you a little hack that I use for customers, because it saves a hell of a lot of time. So I mentioned before, we have a new electrician client. So if you Google electrician wherever you are, you'll get this nice little box halfway down the page, which is called People Also Ask. So that's telling you that Google is searching, people are searching Google for these topics. So how much does an electrician cost per hour in New Zealand? What do electricians charge? How much is a call-out fee? Blah, blah, blah. So you would create small blog posts on those exact topics. Okay, if you create a blog post which is titled exactly what do electricians charge per hour, you write that out, put some images in there, put a couple of links, pad it out, make it look good, then you'll get free traffic to your website. It's a bit of a long tail SEO approach, meaning it's not the bullseye phrase for that business, but people are searching for that. Google's telling us that, so we create the content. Okay, now those ideas are all really useful. I will concede from the get-go that they take time and effort, but that's what marketing is. Marketing never is this short little thing that just happens straight away. There's no hacks, there's no sidetracked ideas that just work straight away. Usually there's some research involved, then there's some work involved, and then there's some looking at data to see what's working, what's not, to optimize or kill off ideas as you go. Okay, if you've got any comments or ideas or thoughts or questions, pop them below. Like I said at the start, please do subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out. And yeah, hopefully that resonates with you and you can roll out some of those ideas because they work. All right, guys, cheers for now. We'll talk soon. Bye.